Standing Committee on Transport and Public Works expected to meet this week to find ways of dealing with taxi violence and public safety in the Western Cape province. That province, the Transport MEC Daylin Mitchell announcing that the closure of the B97 taxi route between Bellville, Paarl and the Mbegweni area for the next 2 months will be effected from today. Now, the route has been at the heart of disputes between the Cape Amalgamated Taxi Association and the Congress of Democratic Taxi Association. Let's speak now to the MEC of the Western Cape, Daylin Mitchell, who joins us on the line because the MEC, I'm told you have been up and about monitoring particularly the taxi ranks and the roads. Have you closed this particular route? Let's start there.
Good morning, and thank you for having me. It's always good to engage. Yes, I've officially announced my decision on Friday to close the route, the B97 route, with effect of today.
All right, and what's been the impact thus far? As I mentioned, you have been monitoring the taxi ranks and the routes. How is transport, but more importantly, commuters, how are they managing at this time?
Well, I've been at the Transport Management Centre since 5 o'clock this morning to ensure that we just have a global view of what's happening on our roads. I must say at this point there's been no incidents, and commuters obviously are affected with the inconvenience. But with the high police visibility, the South African National Defence Force, the law enforcement agencies, and an increase of provincial traffic on all these routes and taxi ranks, I'm very grateful to say that at this point there's been no incidents reported.
Yeah. MEC, the closure of this route for 2 months, is that reasonable given that lots of people rely on taxis as a mode of transport to and from work?
Well, the intention to close it, as gazetted, is for 2 months. But as part of that gazetted intention, I can revoke it at any point. Well, at any point during the 2 months, and additionally, I can, if the violence spiral out of control, I can then implement additional closures. At the heart of this is what do government, or what does the Western Cape government do, and myself as the MEC, to ensure that we protect the safety of the commuters? I mean, we've since the beginning of this calendar year, we're standing on 83 murders that's directly linked to taxi violence.
How many murders are these?
An obligation.
How many murders did you say have taken place thus far? 83.
83 since the calendar year.
Sure.
I mean, and I have an obligation to ensure that we keep our commuters safe. And in the interest of the commuter, I applied my mind after my initial intention was gazetted on the 9th of July. And submissions closed on the 16th of July, where interested parties could make submissions. So after applying my mind to the submission, taking all things into account, I decided that at the heart of this conflict is B97, which is set for arbitration this week, and which is a completely court-driven process, and both CATA and CODETA, as well as government, will be called to submit evidence to the arbitrator, and whatever the arbitrator's decision is after this process would be binding on all three parties, including government.
You mentioned that this was, and you're quite emphatic about it, this was your decision as the MEC of Transport in the Western Cape. Does it have the endorsement of the National Minister of Transport, who's also been involved in trying to resolve this dispute?
Yes, I must say that the National Minister has played a supportive role during this process. He's also joined me on numerous engagements with both CATA, CODETA and Santaco, and and he has publicly said that he endorses the decision.
All right, MEC Daylin Mitchell, that's the MEC of Transport in the Western Cape. Thank you very much for that update.